Excuse me. Hey, happy day. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, also known as Pajama Grandma. Yep, on purpose. If you haven't been following me for a while, I can explain that another day. Doesn't matter. Today I want to talk about food for thought. Food for thought is an amazing idiom. It's actually one from this book of idioms and expressions. I'm just trying to get a different perspective and open my mind to looking at things and trying to understand people and things that affect my businesses better. And one of the ways to do that is to think about the words that we use, the words that we choose, the phrases, the expressions, the idioms, because they're so ingrained in our being and in our culture that they do impact the way we think, the way we describe things to people, the way we communicate with people. And so I wanted to understand those better. And I think that there's value in asking myself a question. What does this mean? How does this apply to my business? And how can I help other people to see how it might apply to their business as well? So today's idiom is food for thought. And food for thought, I love this because I was in the food business for decades. I hate to admit that, but actual decades. And actually 4.5 decades. My very first business was an ice business, and I guess that would be considered food. So food for thought. It's been around since the mid-1800s as an expression. So it means anything that's been around for a couple hundred years, it's pretty ingrained in our culture. So if I say, well, that's food for thought, pretty much everybody understands that it means, well, that's something I need to think about. That's something I should ponder. That's something we should consider. And got me to thinking today because I realized I don't think as much as I think or that I should think. I don't know about you, but sometimes I find myself just doing what I think I should do or what's expected of me in my business and in my life and in my relationships instead of what feels good or right to me. And I am going to make a commitment to myself, and I encourage you to do the same, to decide today that you're going to consciously think and choose more purposefully. Now, there's things in our businesses that we just want to be automatic and that need to be automatic and we don't want to have to think about. So we set up systems and processes and procedures for those things. But there's other things that deserve, and I will say, yes, do that, set up systems, but make sure that you're always continuously improving and looking for ways to make those systems better. That's the thinking part. I remember in college, I learned the PDCA, which is the quality cycle: plan, do, check, act. Planning always comes first, and planning involves thinking and research and studying and figuring things out. And we don't use planning as our excuse to procrastinate and never take action. We just use it as our purposeful preparation before we take action. That's why we plan. But I have found lots of periods in my life where I was just doing things for the sake of doing them, doing things for the sake of keeping busy, being active, moving forward, and not always considering, is this the best action? Is this the best thing? And I believe that we always do what we can with what we've got right now. We always make the best decision for us at the moment, given the information and the resources and whatever else we have. But what if we were to take 5 minutes and actually think about what we're doing? Plan and think and ponder and really say, is this moving me toward my goal? Is this the thing that I need to do? Or is this just something that's expected, that I expect myself to do, that we expect to get done? I tend to be a rule questioner, and not always a rule breaker, but I always question the rules and the procedures and the guidelines and say, okay, I understand why this is a rule, but is it right for us? Especially in my own organizations where I get to make the rules, and the guidelines and the objectives for my own life. I especially ponder those. Now, it doesn't mean I don't question laws and ordinances and things like that, because I definitely do that too. I'm not afraid of a lawsuit when an ordinance or a rule is wrong and isn't being applied equally to other businesses. Been there, done that. Not fun, but somebody has to do it. We have to stand up for what we know is right. So food for thought today. My question to you is, how much time a day do you actually spend thinking? And I don't mean mindlessly watching the news or TV or listening to the radio or anything else. I mean purposefully thinking about what you want, thinking about the direction you want your business to go, thinking about any aspect of your business, marketing, or any function in your business that needs thought and consideration. How much time a day do you spend thinking? Now, Yeah, I can already hear it. Well, I always am thinking, my brain's always going 100 miles an hour. Your brain going 100 miles an hour on autopilot is not thinking. Thinking is purposefully planning, sitting down with a notebook or a piece of paper or a note card or a napkin or a piece of toilet paper and thinking about something on purpose. Thinking is on purpose. Thinking isn't autopilot, just behaving and running through our lives and going through the motions of our lives. Thinking, how much time a day do you spend actually thinking about whatever it is that you need to think about? Because I guarantee our life is worth planning and thinking about and doing on purpose and living on purpose. So that's my food for thought today. My food for thought is about thinking. Imagine that. Go out, make it an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, shape, or form, hit me up in the comments below or direct message me. I am easy to find because I'm pretty much everywhere. I wish you an amazing day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow with a little more food for thought, because all of these idioms are food for thought. They're a way to open our mind, be more flexible, and ask ourselves questions that will supersize and grow and move our businesses ahead. That's it. See you tomorrow. Bye.